Top five, no debating. Top five.
Top five. Can't remember who went first last week. Do you want me to go first this one?
Yeah. If you
All
go
right.
first, that would be lovely.
At number 5. No, I've been really struggling with this one. Okay. I am gonna put at number 5. I have the Eagles.
Ooh, okay.
The Eagles gotta win. We know that there's room for improvement, but we also judge them a lot more harsh than we do other teams because we expect greatness from them. And that's why they're at number 5, because I do think if you had to take 5 teams that, for $1 million, if you guess the Super Bowl winner right, you get $1 million bucks. You would have the Eagles as one of your 5 guesses, I'm guessing. And then the fact that they're going to close the season against the Cardinals and Giants probably is going to give them a guaranteed 13-4 season, and that's going to be good enough to win the East, maybe by a couple games. So, yeah, the Eagles are the second best team in the NFC, and they're still playing with the 49ers losing. They could still be a 1 seed and the playoffs run through Philly. If that happens, Philly's path back to the Super Bowl seems likely.
Ooh, I like it. I think you're going to like this one, Kyle. My number 5 is going to go to the Browns. The Browns are my number 5 team right now. The Browns with Joe Flacco, what they've been able to do. The defense we already knew was a great defense. They've been able to just kill it. Absolutely kill it this entire season. Yes, there's games where they haven't looked great, but right now, the goddamn Browns have 10 wins? They have 10 wins. They're 10-5 right now, where all season they have had questions at quarterbacks. Is it Dorian Thompson-Robinson? Is it PJ Walker? Sean Watson's injured 1 week. He's good the other week. And now you have Joe Flacco in here slinging the ball, getting touchdowns to Amari Cooper, getting him over half the touchdowns in his season in the last 2 games. Like, it's just it's a
They
good
got the
story.
coach.
And they've got the coach. Stefanski's doing a really good job right now. And there's been times, earlier this season and even last season where I was like, is Stefanski the guy? But no, he's doing really well with the situation that is arisen for them, right? Chubb is out. Deshaun Watson's out. They have injuries to the offensive line. They have injuries to the defense. And yet they are a double-digit win team. That's why the Browns are number 5 for me.
All right. Rick has a Chubb. Number 4, I have the Detroit Lions.
Love it.
The Detroit Lions have grit. They have guts, balls, strength, testosterone, everything that you could possibly need. They represent Detroit. Tough city, blue collar, steel factory. Maybe I'm getting too deep into this, but
ticking balls.
Do you know a little bit how a team can embody a city?
Oh yeah,
like Pittsburgh and those Steeler teams, and I think that's kind of the vibes I'm getting in when you think about which teams really embodied the city, like the Patriots, like the Packers, like those Steelers. Those are Super Bowl eras. And I do think that we're getting into a potential Super Bowl era for the Detroit Lions in this team. Because this is not let's win a Super Bowl with a bunch of dudes that are in their prime and then we'll have to rebuild. This is not what the Rams did. This is the other way to build a team from the ground up. I think they're going to be good for quite some years, and I do think they're going to win a Super Bowl this year. I'm not sure if they do, but I like their chances. Lions at 4.
I love it. My number 4 team was a part of the Fraud Bowl.
Ooh.
Dolphins, man. The Dolphins, Crafty said it earlier in the comments. They won off grit. They really did. The 5 field goals, the touchdown of Raheem Mostert, who has the most touchdowns in the NFL right now. Like that is just a gritty win. Tyreek Hill had just under 100 yards, but this was a win for the Dolphins that proves you didn't need Tyreek Hill. You didn't need Jalen Waddle. You didn't need Tua to go insane, right? Like the defense and the kicking game was too damn good. And yes, good through a touchdown, but the defense and the kicking game were the stars for this Dolphins team. That's why I've got them at number 4.
All right. Rick likes to do the gritty. Number 3, I have the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
Got to raise them. They beat the Cowboys. They're a real football team. They're playing for the number 1 seed, even though the Ravens are playing such good football. Miami has a chance to take that seed next week on Sunday. The Ravens are, like you said, one of the toughest teams, so this is a great test.
Mhm.
And the fact that I put them at 3 lets you know that I do think that this is going to be a ball game. And if I thought that it would be a blowout potentially, I wouldn't have the Dolphins that high.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good game. I think what Tyreek Hill's doing is he's by far the greatest addition any team could have at the receiver position. I mean, he's so good. And the chemistry, I see all these shorts of like the way things unfold on game day, like the way they call plays. And they're like, Jalen Waddle, this is going to be a 1-play drive. And they drop a play and Jalen Waddle goes for 75 yards. Like the chemistry, the bonding, they go to Heat games.
Mhm.
They really do like kind of, they have a really good Miami vibe to them.
Mhm.
And it's just, it all works. It
Mhm.
really does. And
Mhm.
I don't know what their ceiling is because we don't know, but don't forget Tua came in for Jalen Hurts and came back in a national championship and won that game. You don't do something like that and then just not have it in you later. Like that's something you either have or you don't. Tua does have it, and he might need to win a Super Bowl before people consider him a actual threat at the quarterback position. It's kind of like Brock Purdy. We're going to keep talking about Debo and CMC instead of Tua. But I
Mhm.
think Tua has a great opportunity this year to get some national respect as maybe a top 10 quarterback. And I think the Dolphins are going to be as good as Tua is in these next couple of weeks, and big test against the Ravens coming up.
Fins go as Tua go. I like it. Live got at number 3. We just flipped 3 and 4, Kyle. I've got the Lions. Got the Lions at number 3. I think I had them there last week and this week where they clinched the division. First time in 30 years. Their head coach was on that 0-16 team, knows loss to the fullest extent on a football team, and now has the taste of sweet victory as the division winners in the NFC North for the first time in 30 years. That's just a great story, man. And I'm keeping them in there at number 3, plus all the cool shit you said.
All the cool shit I said. At
Yeah.
number 2, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, no.
Let's go, Raven fans. Let's go. Put it
Fight
in
'em.
the comments.
Fight
I
'em.
know you guys love this, so you're going to see
Fight 'em.
this after. And you're like, well, we just destroyed the 49ers. Yeah, you did. I don't care.
I don't care.
I think the 49ers
Not
are
fucking leaving.
the better football team. And I think that they had a bad game. That's, to me, Trent Williams. I know you, Crafty was like, he wasn't playing good before that, but I think they would have been able to turn the game around. I don't think the 49ers were going to get dominated. The only times they've been dominated is without Trent Williams. I think if Trent Williams plays in this game, if they get a do-over, if this is indeed the Super Bowl, I could be wrong, but I would go with the 49ers in that rematch. And that's why I'm putting them at number 2, because ultimately it's not about that win. It's about who would I take if they played right now. I would take the 49ers, just like if any other, bad team beat a good team, you wouldn't be like, oh, now they're better. It's just one game. And yeah, it was a measuring stick game, and the 49ers were way off. And I do think with good coaching and all the talent they have all the tools that they need to make some minor adjustments. They are the most dangerous team in the NFL because Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in football. And I just I don't see how I could move them out from that number 1 spot. And if they, let's say the Ravens destroy the Dolphins and the 49ers lose again, I'll probably have to adjust. But for right now, I'm not going to overreact to one football game.
Well, I know the 49ers would have not come back in that game because that Ravens defense is outstanding. The 49ers are my number 2 team. That game was just solid. It was just a damn good game that the Ravens played. Their defense picked off Brock Purdy, someone who we have been rallying for MVP votes, for MVP consideration, and they absolutely killed him. They killed him, dude. He wasn't out until the fourth quarter. It was just an absolute dominating game by the Ravens defense, and Lamar Jackson, that offense, did everything they needed to do. They scored 4 total touchdowns. I thought when I tuned into the game, it was 5-3. I was like, who the fuck 5-3? You know what I mean? Like, it was just a weird game for me. But yeah, what is this? Goal! No, just the 49ers, don't get me wrong. We've both experienced that 3-game losing streak early in the season, and they went down in our ratings, in our rankings, during that stretch. Then they came back up. They were a number 1 team for weeks there, and they're going to be your number 1 team this week. But for me, they're number 2 this week because of that loss against the Ravens. It's a tough loss. Brock Purdy didn't look great. The coaching really didn't look great. Kyle Shanahan seemed lost. And yes, CMC is probably one of the best players in the NFL right now, but takes a team to win that game, and that team just could not win that game. 49ers at 2.
And yeah, Bill right here. Purdy had tips go the wrong way, and sometimes it's like that.
He did.
Sometimes the ball really just doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes what can go wrong
100%.
does go wrong. But I'm with you. The Ravens had a statement win, that's for sure. And I have the 49ers at 1, obviously. So you and I just have those 2 flipped, but
we have the Super Bowl teams at 1 and 2.
Yep. Super Bowl teams at 1 and 2. We predicted it right. The NFL's rigged script came out 9 months ago. But yeah, that is that is our top 5.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.